The man on the street slashed at the toilets with 2 oversized silver push dirks, one in each hand. White gloves covered his hands. He wore a tannish gray trench coat with large cuffs, same color trousers made out of rugged material, knee-high brown leather side lace boots, gray vest over a gray dress shirt, brown leather bandolier across the chest, thick black loose wild rag kerchief around his neck, black sunglasses, and silver-combed back hair. The toilets tried to engulf him with sheer numbers. The man with great skill slashed and stabbed in the heads and wiggling wild necks striking at him. One after another he fought them off, kicking the dead vessels back after they had been slain. 3 toilets in a line rushed headlong at him, as a 4th vaulted over top into the air with a grin of evil intent. As it apexed in the air, suddenly it shattered. A second later, the man heard the crack of a gunshot. The 3 toilets stopped their advance, and the others in the vicinity froze. The man looked over his right shoulder, just as the rotor wash from the helicopter blades hit him. He watched the Black Hawk come to a hover less than half a meter off the ground. He saw Ryoko, laying in the prone position, barrel of the rifle sticking out the fuselage door, smoke wafting from the muzzle. She fired off 2 more shots, taking out 2 of the 3 toilets, the one on the right and the one on the left, leaving the center. Kuro Silk sat on the right side of the doorway, her legs resting on the landing skid. She motioned for the man to come to them. He turned back and lunged at the surviving center toilet, stabbing it through the center of its forehead before making the mad dash to the helicopter. Ryoko sat up and pulled her rifle to the side. The man dived in and slid across the floor. The pilot yanked the controls and began to rapidly ascend. The gunners on both sides unleashed the power of their miniguns, devastating any of the toilets making an attempt to surge at them. As they reached a safe altitude, Kuro Silk pulled her legs in. The man looked around at his rescuers. Ryoko grabbed the headset from behind the co-pilot and handed it to the man. He put them on. "Thanks, I was afraid I'd have to walk my way out of Tokyo," he said lightheartedly. "I'm Jack Takashima." "Are you part of the Special Task Force?" asked Ryoko. "Possible. My sister and I got picked up to help out mostly due to our family's high level of martial arts skills," he answered. "Oh God, we didn't leave her, did we?" exclaimed Ryoko. "No," replied Jack. "She's not dead, is she?" continued Ryoko. "I don't know. We got dropped off in different locations. So as far as I know, she's still out there," he finished. "I have a sister out there too somewhere," added Ryoko. The nose of the helicopter faced away from the city as the tail trailed towards it. "Get your last looks in because there goes Tokyo," said the pilot. The helicopter, now far outside the greater Tokyo area, sped along other helicopters of various makes, models, and national origins, sparsely, out in the distant air. Below the helicopter, the green vegetation of the forest below broke to a tan sand soil reminiscent of a desert. Rapidly coming into view was a silver square building. The structure was roughly about the size of a large American retail store. The structure was only 2 stories tall, with an elevated helicopter landing pad on the west side. Helicopters touched down, unloaded their passengers, and took back off. The ground was laced with tire and tread tracks leading into the building. Helicopters landed on the ground, and their rotors were quickly condensed, and they were towed inside as other ground vehicles of all kinds were driven in. Other helicopters circled in the air in a holding pattern, but the one Ryoko and the others were on was cleared right away and smoothly descended onto the landing pad. The helicopter touched down, the wheels barely kissing the platform as it held there. The group exited the aircraft and down the rail-less metal grate stairs adjacent to them. As Jack, the last one off, touched the first step, the helicopter banked left and took off rapidly, the rotor wash blowing and ruffling all their clothes, the girls having to push and hold their skirts down until the rapid onslaught of air passed. They made their way onto the roof. Down near the other end stood a girl, back to them, her black pleated skirt fluttering in the rotor wash as well. She turned, her long brown hair swirling around her. White skin, Caucasian, she wore a white silk blouse with black satin tie held tightly under a black bulletproof tactical vest ringed with magazine holsters around the bottom, her arms covered in black polycarbonate guards all the way up her upper arms to just below her shoulders. Black hard knuckle gloves shielded her hands, Black thigh-high polycarbonate leg guards covered her legs, leaving only a small part of her thighs exposed just below the hem of her skirt. Her satai ryoiki, leading down into her black combat boots, brown eyes hid behind semicircle black frame glasses. Finally, she held an old original Vietnam War-era model M16 strapped to her chest, barrel pointed down, the rifle butt nearly even with her chin, with 2 Colt 45 pistols strapped to the top of her thigh armor. She began to walk over to the group. When she got close enough, she received them. "Welcome to the box in the middle of nowhere," she said. "I'm Brittany Blanchard. I'm with the company." "Private military contractor?" inquired Ryoko. "No," answered Brittany. "Would this company be headquartered in Langley?" asked Lex. "Possibly," she returned with a seductive sly grin. "She's CIA," said Lex. "I can neither confirm nor deny that," Brittany answered without answering. Brittany looked up into the sky, as her hair started to flail in the air as more rotor wash started to pick up. "Let's get down, and inside it looks like traffic is about to pick up." Brittany led the way down an open trapdoor in the roof, onto more metal grate stairs. Ryoko, and the others looking down into the vast interior, as military and work crews hustled about moving vehicles, equipment, and supplies. Large industrial elevators loaded up and disappeared down into the depths of the building.